The word dark horse is thrown a lot in major competitions, but which teams actually are dark horses? Well, I've already discussed in earlier previews that I think Hungary is one of the dark horses for the Euros, but this team right here are gelling at the perfect time, and with an experienced manager, can Austria be one of the dark horses? Get your thoughts in the comments down below. How far do you think Austria will go at this Euros? And further ado, let's get into the preview and prediction for Austria. In recent decades, Austria have been sort of, a mid-tier, not even really mid-tier, because I think more of like Switzerland, Czech Republic. Austria are not even in that discussion. But now, under Ralf Rangnick, yes, they finished round of 16 at the Euros, which was actually a good achievement, and they eventually lost to Italy, and who won the tournament? Italy, and they pushed into extra time. Yes, they've kind of been building towards this scenario. They got a lot of players now playing in the Bundesliga, of course, with the connection with Austria and Germany, and the rise of Red Bull Salzburg. Yes, it is very controversial, the rise they have done, and shout out to Sturm Graz for ending their dominance in Austria, but I think that's kind of helped elevate the academies in Austria. Yes, Red Bull Salzburg dominate, which is not a good thing, but they have developed some good players. So while maybe the Red Bull Salzburg is not good for the league, it's been a good thing for the national team. But there is a reason why they are dark horses. So these are their recent matches. Their only loss was against Belgium 3-2. They were 3-0 down at the game. Then I think Belgium got the red card and they got it back to 2 goals. Austria are playing some wonderful football. I mean, you watch them play and you think to yourself, this is a club team. The way they're organized, the way they're pressing, the way they move the ball, everything just screams club football. Because if you look at the individual talent, Austria are not an Italy. They're not a Spain. They're not a Portugal. They're not these teams. But they work as a unit. And they play beautiful football as a unit. And that comes down to Ralf Rangnick. And look at these results. Beat Germany 2-0. Yes, Leroy Sané got the red card in that game. 6-1 against Turkey. Yeah, okay, Michael, it's a friend. 6-1 is 6-1. I don't care. It could be a friendly. It could be a preseason. I don't care. 6-1 is ridiculous. Yeah, Turkey, we understand. Hot and cold merchants, but shout out to Austria. 1-1 draw with Belgium. That 2-0 against Sweden, they destroyed Sweden. If you didn't watch the game, Austria obliterated them. Then they beat them 3-1 away. They had a tough start under Ralf Rangnick. They had a couple losses in the Nations League. It took some time to develop this, build the chemistry, trust in Ralf Rangnick and his tactics. And now you see the trust they have had, and now they're playing exceptional football. Only 1 goal conceded in the last 5 games. That's another thing to think about. Yes, we can talk about the goal scoring, and they're always getting different goal scores, but conceding 1 goal in 5 games, that's impressive. Yes, it's against Azerbaijan. Yes, it's against Estonia. Yes, it's against Slovakia. Slovakia have qualified to the Euros. Think about it. The last 3 opponents they've had, they're all going to the Euros. And they've scored 10 goals, conceded 1 goal. That's when you know you're in form. That's when you know everything is just defined. It is defined like a medium rare steak. If you do eat steak, how would you like it cooked? I want it medium rare. Ralf Rangnick knows the way to do that. So we got to give it to Ralf Rangnick. 21 games as manager of Austria, 13 wins, 3 draws, and 5 losses. And a majority of those losses came in his first competition, which was the Nations League back in 2022. And to see how well he has done, he was ridiculed at Manchester United for the style of football. And everybody's saying, oh yeah, you really need to get rid of 10 players. And everybody's like, Ralf, you're just a crazy old dude. What do you know? You're just from the Red Bull family. Come on, ease on the weed, ease on the weed. Okay, he said, cool, I'll leave. And now he has taken the Austrian job, which was a very intriguing hiring because he doesn't have any experience in international football. He's always been at club level. RB Leipzig again, Schalke, Hoffenheim, Schalke, Hannover, Stuttgart, obviously Manchester United interim basis. So to see him transition from the club level to international football and playing some great football and just developing a winning philosophy with the Austrian national team, I mean, you got to give a massive plaudits to him. Austria, before those last Euros, were like, okay, they could surprise. They could just maybe get to the round of 16. Now, there is expectation almost. If you haven't followed international football a lot, you would think to yourself, Austria, come on, man. Come on. There's no David Alaba. There's no Schlager from RB Leipzig. Do they really have names? You just look at the team sheet and you're like, there's no standout players. But coaching. That's exactly what Rangnick has done. He said, cool. I'm going to implement my style of football, a little bit of pressing. No natural wingers sometimes in my team. We're going to play a 4-2-2 diamond. It's beautiful. You got to give a lot of credit to Ralf Rangnick and the style of football he has developed with this team in a short period. Like 21 games, you could say, oh, Michael, that's quite a lot. But to think that you only have 2 weeks at a time to work with these players, it just shows that Ragnick is a great manager, and I think that is something maybe that Austrian football needed. They needed to take that next step. They're getting good. Now how can we take that next leap? Right? You're at the kiddie park, you're at the amusement park, you can only take the rides, but I want to grow a little bit more, and then you can take the big boy rides. And that's what Ragnick has done with Austria. And it's going to be interesting to see how Ragnick is going to do against the very tough opponents in Netherlands and France and Poland, to see if his style of football and with these players, how well has he done. So Ragnick, kudos to you, my good sir. But let's see how you do at this Euros. So here's the team for Austria. Now, you look at this team on paper, you're like, okay, Arnautovic, getting old. Christoph Baumgartner. You have obviously Kevin Donso. Keep an eye on Kevin Donso, the center back from Lens, very good. Michael Grigoritz, Florian Grillitz, Konrad Leimer, Stefan Leiner, Philipp Leinhardt, Stefan Posch from Bologna, Marcel Sabitzer. So there's not a lot of big names, because there's no David Alaba, he's injured sadly, and there's no Schlager from RB Leipzig. Those are two big misses though. I wonder if those two players, because David Alaba would play center back or could play DM, and then you have Schlager who's actually been really key for the Austrian team, maybe not so much for RB Leipzig, but he's vital. So I wonder if his presence as well is going to be a big miss in that midfield, because the midfield, that's Ragnick ball. The midfield has to be working and gelling together, and without Schlager, Sabitzer's really got to step up. Konrad Leimer's really got to step up. I'm looking at Nicolas Seiwald. He's got to step up. Very young player, but he's very promising. But there's no big names. You don't look at this list, you're like, oh my god, they got this guy. There's no Kivara. There's no Rafael Leao. There's none of these guys. Let's look at the Ukraine national team. Ukraine have Dovbyk, Yaramchuk, Mudryk, Zinchenko. And Austria don't have that. But Austria have a lot of good players, I would say. Yeah, they might not play in the best teams in the world. Obviously, Konrad Leimer plays for Bayern Munich. Marcel Sabitzer's in the Champions League final. I'm not being disingenuous in saying, oh yeah, these guys are not good. But I'm talking about like the elite players. That just shows that they are wonderful playing together. And two, the job that Ragnick has done is simply outstanding. Simply outstanding. And I'm so fascinated to see if they can continue their form that they have shown in Euro qualifiers and the friendlies heading into this summer. Because if they can continue that form, Austria are going to be one of the most funnest teams to watch at this Euros. Book it here, people. You heard it here right now on the Michael Talks Football channel. Austria will be one of the most entertaining teams at this Euros. You might think I'm a little bit diluted. You might think I'm Stephen A. Smith or something like that. This is recently how Ragnick has set up with this team. A 4-2-3-1. But look at the two wide players. It's Konrad Leimer and it's Sabitzer. So they're not really playing out wide. More it's Posch and Muene who are going to provide the width on this team. And then Konrad Leimer and Sabitzer are playing a little bit more closer to the midfield. Then you have Baumgartner and Gregoritz who are sort of a two-striker pairing. Obviously, Baumgartner will a little bit come more deeper to receive the ball. And Gregoritz is more of a pure striker. Now, obviously, you have Gregoritz, you have Arnautovic. So I would imagine that Arnautovic will start in this situation. But like I said, Schlager is a big miss in that midfield. Because he's sort of that number 8. He's able to carry with the ball. Nicolas Seifeld, who I highlighted earlier, also a very talented player on this team. They're going to try and play a lot through the middle. That's one thing I realized a lot with Austria watching the qualifiers against Belgium and Sweden, is that they like to play down the middle. So expect that a lot, but then you'll see Posch and Wene making those runs on the outside to provide the width on this team. I like the way Rangnick has set this up, because one thing that Austria have is a lot of good technical midfielders like Konrad Leimer, who Konrad Leimer didn't have the greatest of seasons with Bayern, but he's still a good player. Sabitzer, we see he's a bit more of a technical player. I think he really fits into Ragnick's style of play. And Arnautovic is also a big key here, because Kalacic, who also was a very up-and-coming striker, he's got another ACL tear, which is horrific for him. So actually, Austria are missing 3 key players, which is, if they had those 3 players, you'd be like, man, Austria could maybe make it to the semifinals. That's just how good they are. Even David Alaba's here in this starting 11, but he will not start. It will obviously be done so. Austria are going to be a team where they can keep possession of the ball. They're very good in transition. A physical presence in their team. They have all those 3 elements. We know with international football, it's not a volleyball game. It's not basketball. It's not tennis where you're going like this. It's a bit more control, a bit more relaxed. It's more about the technical play of the players and individual brilliance. Yes, this team might not have the individual brilliance, but the way they're able to pass the ball around, then they're just confusing the opponents at times. And also very good on set pieces. That's another thing. Very good on set pieces. So I just like the way they have played in these Euro qualifiers. I didn't get to watch the Austria-Turkey game because I couldn't find anywhere highlights of the game. But beating them 6-1 is ludicrous. I mean, 6-1 is disgusting. So I'm excited. You can tell people, I'm excited by this team. I hope they do well, and I hope that Ragnick can show all those Man United fans and all these Premier League people who said, oh, this guy's a terrible manager. He can prove them wrong. Yes, it's different. It's club level to international level. I understand. But he can really prove something that, hey, I'm not a bad coach, people. Just give me time. Let me implement my style, and I can turn dust into gold. They have a very difficult group. Netherlands, no joke. France, Poland. I expect Austria to beat Poland. So what is key here for Austria is getting those 3 points against Poland and then getting a draw versus either Netherlands and France, and you're through to the knockout stage. That's the key. The goal is get the 4 points, move on to the round of 16. Can they surprise a big team in the round of 16? Let's say they go up against Italy or Belgium or one of these teams. I think Austria could beat them. It's about growing into the tournament as well. They can start off really quickly, Austria, get those 3 points, and voila, they're in a good position. Their first game is against France. If they can somehow beat France, Austria can win this group. And that is pretty remarkable to say, but that just shows the progress that this national team has made in the last year and a half, really, since the Nations League in 2022. The team has just gone better and better. It just seems like every international break, they're gelling into more of a unit. And now these Euros, they're going to really show why there's a lot of hype around them, especially from the international football community. Maybe not from people who follow international football who just say all the time, oh, international break, it's dead, give me back to club football. This is why I've watched a lot of international football during the qualifiers, because you just see teams that maybe they don't have the star names, but they gel into a unit. And Austria, they're more organized than Netherlands. They don't have the talent like Netherlands or France, but they can go toe-to-toe with them. 100% they can. The key for them is Arnautovic has to play amazing. Same with Konrad Laimer. Same with Sabitzer. That's going to be the key issues. But for me, I think Austria can make it to the quarterfinals. They're one of my dark horses. Them and Hungary are my 2 dark horses for this Euros. So either we're going to look like a genius, or I'm going to look like an absolute idiot, and they're going to say Michael talks football, more like Michael talks deluded. Maybe I will go to that transition, but I'm banking a lot on what I have seen, and it's a tough group, but I trust in Ralf Rangnick. So let me know your thoughts, people. How far do you think Austria will go at this Euros? Is it a group stage exit, round of 16, quarterfinal, semifinal? And hey, let's go even more into an ayahuasca trip and say final and champions of Euros. You never know, people. It is football. Thank you all for watching. There is the preview and prediction for Austria at this Euros. Remember to subscribe to the channel if you're new around here, as we have a lot of content for the Euros and Copa America coming up for the summer. If you want to support the channel, there's always the membership. Also, my Patreon is in the description down below. I'll be dropping Patreon-only videos. But have a beautiful day. Stay safe in this crazy world. Till next time, adios.